There we go. I'm going to on YouTube. We're getting close now.
Call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting Monday, June 22nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Henkel.
Here.
Alderperson Buskey.
Here.
Alderperson Winter. Here. We have a quorum.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, are there any citizens' comments tonight? Citizens' comments?
The reason I'm here tonight is I am interested in,
Can we get the name and address for the record, please?
sorry, Merlin Calhammer, 90 Riverview Heights, Mayville. On public safety tonight, you have something coming up on the e-scooters and the like that are running all over the city, and I am very interested, and I think it is well beyond time to get something to regulate, because I personally have come close 3 times. And if you wouldn't be really watching for them, somebody's gonna get hurt shortly. So I will be keeping with it. I wanna make sure that it covers everything that needs to be covered, so thank you.
Thank you, Merle. Okay, approval of the minutes of May 26, 2026 Public Safety Committee meeting.
So
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, discuss with possible action monthly police department report to the public safety.
Good evening. For the monthly police report, we don't have a lot of things. I can tell you since the last meeting, we had 392 calls. That puts us at 2,369 calls to date for the year. Our new officer is in his 3rd week, almost 4th week of field training, and it's going really well, our new hire. We're hoping to have him on the road sometime late August, and things are going really well. Like, we just had a field training meeting just before this meeting with the 3 field training officers that are training the officer, and things are good. So I'm very pleased with that. Up and coming, we have Rock and Boom 4th of July coming. We'll have officers there for that event and for that evening. And it looks like it's going to be the same as what we've had in previous years. And as far as the summer's going, school's out, and things are going good so far. So I don't really have anything specific to report. One thing I will say to those listening at home is that the officers are out, and we are enforcing local ordinance violations when it comes to junk vehicles, when it comes to junk and that in the yards and that. The officers are going around. We're giving warning, plenty of time to get those things taken care of. We are actively enforcing that right now. We've got a couple weeks of that left. Also, I will remind residents that any kind of storm damage and that we have from last year from the tornado, we will be addressing that as well. We'll be working with the building inspector and that to get those things kind of buttoned up. So if anybody has any questions out there regarding that, you can contact me anytime during the week, and we'll help you out the best that we can. So that's about it. Any questions? All right.
Thank you, Brian. 5.2 monthly fire department report.
Good evening. Since our previous meeting, the fire department has responded to a total of 5 more calls for service. The written report provided has a breakdown for those. 2 mutual aid calls, one with the Iron Ridge Fire Department for a structure fire, another in Horicon for when the weather rolled through a little over a week ago for a rapid intervention team. We also were called out for weather, storm spotting. Another call was hazardous conditions for an arc and utility pole and a fire alarm. That puts our 2026 total calls for service at 52. From a personnel perspective, our roster stands at 21 members, and we're maintaining adequate staffing for call response. Community engagement, upcoming events will be at Maple Rock and Boone for fireworks. Again, we'll have 2 apparatus set up in the event of anything needed at the park. We'll also be participating in Knowles 4th of July parade. Last week, we had a station tour with Threshold Incorporated from West Bend to give interaction with children participating in their program, experience the fire station, and a review of fire safety initiatives. We also participated since the last meeting in Mayville Elementary School's field day before their school year wrapped up. We spent 8 hours up there providing hands-on fire safety and outreach to students. We also participated down at the Youth Fishing Day, Wings Over Wisconsin. We helped them get their some water filled for the event, and then set up and handed out some fire prevention materials. Training and development, we've been working to build relationships with neighboring departments. We've had 2 practices in the last quarter with the Iron Ridge Fire Department for relay pumping ops and wildland response. We're going to continue to improve teamwork by working with other departments. We'd like to get some time with Kikoski in the near future. From a professional development certification perspective, we've had 2 members complete their state driver operator pumper, and we are working on putting together our training plans for next year when it comes to state certifications through Moraine Park. Fire inspections remain on schedule to be completed by the end of June for the first half of the year. We today went through and did the fire alarm and sprinkler testing at the new Poplar Grove apartment building at 1212 Dayton Street. Everything passed. We have 5 new occupancy inspections that are still pending, contingent on the applicant moving in and having substantial move-in finished. From an apparatus perspective, all of our apparatus have gone through their annual DOT and PM inspections. We're currently reviewing the final reports, and we usually rate everything from a must repair to nice to have to is it really needed. We got a full detail report that's currently under review. The one big thing is our rescue squad failed its DOT inspection, and this will be discussed further on the 27 capital improvement plan as we have that noted for this year's cycle. So we'll continue to work with City Hall to make sure our equipment's evaluated and proper planning is in place down the road. Any questions for the fire department?
How come it failed?
The frame is completely rusted out. There's separation between that and the box that carries all the gear in the back. It's a heavy rescue truck. There's separation significant where he gauged that there could be a 1/2 inch of separation in shifting if it's driven down the road at high speeds. Right now, the direction is to keep it in city limits, and we're gonna
have some follow-up calls with the inspector on that and have another update here at City Hall for next steps. But the box on the back, that's also got a command area in the back. There's gaps where that thing is shifting and rubbing into the frame from the body, and that means you're getting a good half-inch to inch of play. And you don't notice it while driving, but it's obviously happening as you can see the marks underneath from the inspection. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Okay, 5.3 monthly EMS report.
Mine should be pretty short and sweet. Call volume wise, we are at 709 year to date. So we're 183 calls ahead of where we were last year, which we were expecting. We're kind of staying on track. Training wise, tomorrow, or Wednesday is our meeting. We have Dodge County Crisis coming in. It's a new program that the county has kind of created to help with crisis people. So we want to learn more about it. It sounds like it's a really great opportunity to help not only us, but law enforcement and other people to try to get help. So maybe we wouldn't have transport, or we can come up with a plan for them. So we're looking forward to meeting them. Staffing wise, we are in the process of hiring a new AEMT. She runs at a couple other departments. She was one of our students. So she was moved on through the hiring process, still has to go through background and physical. Saturday, we had our National Registry test out for our EMT class. So it was 100% pass rate, so very proud of my instructors. They did a great job. The only ones that had to pretty much retest were not our students, so pretty proud of that. And we are going to be, we just had a meeting that we are going to be running a dual cohort for sure this fall. So we will be running the EMT class along with an AEMT class, so it's going to be a pretty big undertaking. But the instructors feel that there's enough requests for it, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with that. So we will hold one at the station and we will hold one at the library because they'll be running on the same days. So that's pretty exciting, and that is all I have. Oh, we will be at the 4th of July also. We're running we'll have 2 rigs up there on Saturday. So, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, 5.4, discuss with possible recommendation the creation of an e-bike ordinance.
Hello again. So what we're looking to do, and this has been something that's come up at the police department the last couple of weeks, quite a bit more than it has earlier this spring, is we do have a significant amount of traffic with electric bikes, electric scooters, electric one-wheel play vehicles, whatever those things are called. There's people running around, kids of all ages, adults of all ages, running around on e-scooters and bikes throughout the whole city. There's really, it's going well to a certain degree. And there is state statute that does cover the use of those bicycles and play vehicles. But what we would be looking to do is to create an ordinance. Now, we can adopt that ordinance through the way that we have it set now to begin with, or we already do adopt that or that state ordinance. But really what I'm asking the council to do with having a city ordinance specific would be is we would take the state law and we would add to it helmet usage for kids under the age of 16. We would also create more strict restrictions on speed for the certain classes of e-bikes, and I'll get into that here shortly, of what those bicycles, how fast they can go and where they can go and at what speed, if that makes sense. So I'm learning with this too as we're going along here, but there are 3 different classes of electric bicycles, and I wasn't aware of this myself, but there's a class 1, 2, and 3, and a class 1 e-bike is a bicycle that is power assisted, meaning it has an electric motor of 750 watts or less, that when you pedal, it assists as you pedal. Then there's a class 2 bike that's powered solely by the electric motor, meaning it has a throttle on it and it can operate with just the electric motor, or you can also pedal and use the electric motor or both. So it's kind of like a class 1 with also has a throttle. And then there's a class C electric bike, which is all of the above, but is capable of speeds faster than 20 miles an hour, meaning it can go up to 28 miles an hour. And so those are the electric bikes, the 3 different classes of electric bikes that we'd be looking at. And then there also is a out-of-class electric vehicle classification that includes an electric-powered 2 or 3-wheeled vehicle that exceeds the speeds or power limits of the 1, 2, or 3 class bikes, and the motor exceeds 750 watts and has a throttle only. So those basically are electric mopeds. That's the best way I can describe that where it makes sense. Where it's something that you would travel only on the roadway with. And a lot of those would have to be licensed, just like, and would have to be DOT inspected or capable of being DOT inspected. And then after that, there's a 4th, 5th variable, electric mobility device. And this is where we come into anything that's small, goes 20 miles an hour or slower. This includes electric scooters, 1-wheels, which is those 1-wheel things that you break your neck with, electric skateboards, and then also the seated scooters. And the seated scooters, you see a lot of that in town, where people are sitting on something that looks like a scooter you'd stand up on, but it has a seat. And in my opinion, those are the things that are probably the most dangerous when it comes to kids and that. But then they're also included in this classification is anybody with like a personal mobility, like electric wheelchair, like a little scooter type thing that you can run. But you can use that Piggly Wiggly if you don't feel like walking. So those also come into this. And then the 6th or 7th classification, which often gets confused with the electric stuff, is play vehicle. And that's defined by state statute as skateboard, roller skates, inline skates, unicycle, toy vehicle, kids' big wheel, tricycle, that type of thing. Anything that doesn't have a motor, but you can pedal it, and you often see kids. So that's considered a play vehicle, and that's specific and defined in the ordinance as well. So that just gives you kind of an idea of what you're up against when you create an ordinance or you try to narrow an ordinance down and make it more specific, because there are a lot of things in there that have to be defined and understood. And all that is pretty easy because we can copy the definitions from state statute into our local ordinance and include that and make that in here. But I just want to make just so it's clear to the council exactly what this is. And then I do have some highlights of this. And what I have in front of me, and I think you guys, did they get a copy, Annie?
I am not sure of the Horicon ordinance.
Yeah, we can get that to you.
Yes.
But City of Horicon just came out with an ordinance, which I think is very good. I've gone through it. I've gone through the City of Wild Ponds. West Bend has one. There's a number of communities that have just done this. Most of them will take all of the state statute language and copy it, and then take certain portions and make it more specific. So as this council body, that's what I'll be asking for you to think about. And I'll bring those suggestions to you, what I believe is the most, what would be the most beneficial to our community. And when you get that Horicon ordinance, you can look that over. But one of the things that I think is probably the most dangerous, or I can say that I saw today, I drove my squad downtown today and I sat for a half hour. And I wasn't there for 2 minutes and I already had somebody coming at me on a scooter that you can sit on one side of the road. Shortly after, there was somebody on the other side of the road. Shortly after that, somebody came down and passed me on an e-bike. I was sitting right in front of Cardinal Lanes facing south. So I would say at least in an hour's time, there's 5, 6, maybe 10 electric bikes, scooters, something going up and down Main Street. That's how much traffic we're talking about when it comes to these things. And in the state ordinance, there's no speed specific things when it comes to what class of bicycle or electric mobility device that you can use on a sidewalk. But in this specific example of an ordinance, we'll give you a copy of, is 15 miles per hour on the sidewalk when it comes to certain bicycle, e-bikes or e-scooters and that. Me personally, I think that's a little fast. So that's one example where I think that I'm gonna say 5 miles an hour on the sidewalk is probably more realistic, so people don't get hurt. So that's one thing that I'll bring to you. I want to look at some other ordinances and that too before we go into that. And then also, if you're gonna cross on a crosswalk from the sidewalk, I think it's something where in our ordinance we should have that you should walk the bike or bicycle or scooter across the crosswalk, because that I think is probably what we're seeing that's the most dangerous is kids on these scooters, because they're just shooting out into the road, the crosswalks from the sidewalks. And I'd like to have it in ordinance to where if you're gonna cross the road and you're using the sidewalk, then you'll have to use the crosswalk and you have to walk it across the crosswalk. For the play vehicles in class 1 and whatever the other one that I said, when it comes to the scooters, I gotta keep having to refer back to this because all the ordinances I looked at have different language for what we're out of class electric vehicle or electric mobility device. Those vehicles I think should have to be walked across a crosswalk. So the speed I had noted, and then the other side of it is no person under the age of 16. This is above what state statute offers, so this would be something more that we would add to our ordinance. No person under the age of 16 may operate a class 3 electric bicycle. And again, a class 3 electric bicycle is one that will go in excess of 20 miles an hour, go 28 miles per hour. So anything above that 20 mile an hour park, I'm gonna ask when we suggest an ordinance in the language, that'll be a 16-year-old, and then anyone under the age of 16, regardless of what they're on or riding, has to wear a helmet. So that'll be another thing that I'll set in here. And that's something that was in the Horicon ordinance as well. And then a class 3 electric scooter, bicycle, mobility device, whatever, is going to go in excess of 20 miles an hour would not be allowed on the sidewalk at all. I think that's just common sense. And that's not in the state statute, but that'd be something more strict that we would offer in our ordinance. Is that any of those vehicles that can go 20 miles an hour, those are not allowed on the sidewalk. And then again, anyone 16 years of age operating, riding an electric bicycle on a public roadway, public sidewalk, public bicycle path, or any other public right-of-way under this jurisdiction shall wear a protective helmet designed for safety, and then the helmet would have to meet the same standards as what you would for a bicycle. And then there's also what makes it even more difficult, which is in state statute isn't quite as defined as nighttime operation. So anytime you're gonna operate anything at night, I would ask, and we'll give you the language in that as far as you gotta have some kind of headlight or tail light or something at night. Same kind of operation, there's same kind of rules and laws that you would have with a bicycle. You gotta have a light on, and you gotta follow the rules of the road. You have to stop at intersections and stop signs and follow traffic signals and all those kind of things. So it's pretty straightforward as far as the ordinance would go. But there just is a lot of definitions in there because there's a lot of different types of bikes and play bikes and that type of thing. And just from the research that I have done, there's a lot of the bicycles from name brand manufacturers offer, they'll say what class bicycle it is and they'll say what motor it's in it and that. But then you also have some of these off-brand bicycles from Chinese manufacturers and Temu and everything else that'll have up to a 2,000 or 3,000 watt motor in them that are capable of 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And they look no different than the other stuff that's offered as a class 1 or 2 bicycle. So from an enforcement standpoint, it's going to be kind of difficult. We'll have to physically inspect things and that type of thing. And another part that's in this specific ordinance, which we'll give you a copy of again, it does have a provision in there that the chief of police can impound said bicycle for up to 10 days if there is an infraction, so that we can investigate to determine exactly what the bicycle it is, because sometimes it's difficult to tell. We may have to consult manufacturers or third parties to try to determine exactly what we're looking at. So that's what I have for as far as an ordinance, just the beginning phases of what we're looking at. I think it's important just for the safety of the motorists, people walking on the sidewalk and that. And just from what I saw today on Main Street, the bicycles and that coming down, if someone just steps out of their door in one of the downtown businesses and e-bike goes by at 20 miles per hour, it could be pretty catastrophic. So I think it's definitely necessary. Another provision too because a lot of times we'll be dealing with children with these things, and obviously with children, we're not gonna issue tickets or that type of thing. But we wanna educate, and we want parents to be involved in education. And you'll see in the Horicon ordinance in the last couple of pages, there is some warning steps in there that if we do have a child, we can contact the parent and we can give them a, you know, a first, second, or third degree warning. And we can, you know, from that point, before we just issue tickets. So I think that that would be appropriate too in the ordinance. And that we can talk about further down the road too. So I know that's a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, and we'll push this through, we'll get a copy of what we're looking at, I don't know, at the next meeting, or next public safety.
We can do that.
And then, because I'd like to have this in place yet this summer, August, if it's possible. I know it's probably a little tight, but
And if they recommended this to council, I mean, we could have the first draft at council.
You got 30-day wait for ordinance, right? For a new ordinance, you have 30-day wait.
A lot of them you're able to do upon publications, once I can get it published in the paper, usually.
if anybody else has any ideas on that, please, I'm all ears. Somebody, you know, if there's something you're seeing or you think needs to be addressed further, or
Yeah, so.
more or less, certainly, please contact me and we'll definitely look into it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than even I thought.
Oh, yeah.
So you can do that with
We'll
ordinance.
talk about it as a town.
Well, it depends if we could get a draft together in July. We have the potential to have it placed on there for.
Yeah, but like I said, most of this is already covered in state statutes. We already have the authority to enforce a lot of these things. So really what the stat, you know, with our own ordinances can do is going to allow us to just look a little closer at making sure people have protective gear and keeping certain vehicles off the sidewalk versus on, and those type of things. State statute still says you still have to operate with due regard. You still have to, you know, be safe and you can't be reckless and those type of things. So when we see people doing things that we, you know, but it, like even, it was not a few days ago, we have somebody coming down the bike path on Horicon Street, the opposite direction with a little tiny scooter, large man, and he's got probably a whole trunk's worth of groceries hanging off both handlebars. So, so people are using these scooters for everything, so. And this also addresses any kind of horseplay, riding double. I mean, it covers most of what would be an issue, so. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Alright.
So do we need a motion to recommend?
Oh,
Or not
come
yet?
back. We'll come back.
Okay. All right. 5.5, discuss with possible recommendation resolution 6077, 2026 action on 2026, 2027 liquor and fermented malt beverage licenses for New China and Family Dollar.
Yep, so we've had a couple stragglers this licensing season, so both New China and Family Dollar would just be renewals. So we would just be looking for recommendation to common council so we can get them their current year license issued.
I'll make a motion to recommend.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 6:27.
Who's next?
I'd like to call to order the City of Manville Public Works Committee meeting at 6:28 PM for June 22nd, 2026. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Baker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Olson. Here. We have a quorum.
Any citizen comments? Seeing none. Item 3, approval of the minutes of the May 26, 2026 Public Works Committee meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
By Smith, second by Wilson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, item 4, discuss with possible action monthly take center report to the Public Works Committee.
So Jess is on vacation for the beginning part of this week. She had sent me a report that she wanted me to provide for you all. She says the Take Center continues to address repairs related to the pool flow meter actuators and UV system. They appreciate the support of Take Inc. and their contribution toward these necessary repairs. Their aquatic team remains focused on staff development and safety. They're continuing to recertify lifeguards and provide lifeguard CPR training to keep certifications current. On June 18th, they hosted a Music in the Park event. They raised $909 for the Take Center. They would like to thank the volunteers as well as Rock and Boom and Don Ramones for their generous contributions and support. Staff were transitioned to utilize the MyPay payroll system, helping streamline payroll processing and employee access to their payroll information. Just had the opportunity to present a Take Center update at the Mayville Making Connections Business Networking Meeting on June 10th, sharing information about current programming, facility operations, and future initiatives. To encourage membership growth during the summer months, they are currently offering summer membership specials and promoting the reciprocal membership agreements we have in place with some neighboring communities. They have launched a new Aqua Shock water fitness class, which has received positive feedback, and they are actively exploring opportunities to expand programming for fall and winter, including the potential addition of a preschool recreation program. And she thanks you for your continued support of the Take Center.
All right, thank you. All right, item 4.2, monthly Department of Public Works and Parks Department report to the Public Works Committee.
Jake has welcomed a new baby and
Oh, really?
is not here. Yes, his wife had a baby last week. So I did see John Wild today, and he said it has just been the standard seasonal work for DPW and parks and didn't have much else to report out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it. Item 5.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion by Smith. I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned at
6:30.
6:31.
What's on now?
Finance.
Okay.
Okay, I'll to order the Finance Committee meeting at 7:30. Wow, 6:31. Specific there. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Smith,
Here.
Alderperson Baker,
Here.
Alderperson Henkel. Here, we have a quorum.
Okay, approval of the minutes, or citizen comments. Any citizen comments for the Finance Committee? Seeing none, we'll go to the approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Henkel,
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discuss with possible action, recommendation pay request number 2 for Cartechner Brothers LLC in the amount of $354,908.94 for the River Knoll Drive Street Utility Extension, TID number 7.
So this pay request came in a little late to get on schedule for last month. There was some clarification needed on some of the items that they were requesting pay for. But you should be able to see all the items in the pay request breakdown there for mainly the utility work that was done out on River Knoll.
I'll make a motion to pay the pay request number 2.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. Are there any questions for?
Yeah, I think that, since we don't have the treasurer, not quite sure how she was recording, the TID stuff, but we should probably talk to Cameron about make sure this stuff gets recorded in the TID number 7
Okay,
for, reimbursements in the future.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's an amendment to the motion, I guess.
No, we'll just make sure that Cameron, when he comes
More
on board,
informational,
we record, this payment in the TID 7 for reimbursement in the
so
future.
it gets recouped.
But you're happy with, you've inspected? this?
Yeah, we've had personnel out on site there to keep track of.
Somebody was looking in the ditches?
Yep.
Good. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Well, I think we should take the roll on it because it's a lot of money.
Yep, I can certainly do that. Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Henkel.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye,
Motion carries.
okay. Discuss with possible recommendation, pay request number 3 to Cartechner Brothers LLC in the amount of $89,208.05 for the River Knoll Street and utility extension TID number 7.
So this pay request is kind of for the work that they did last month, and that's kind of the finishing touches on utilities, along with some of the storm pond stuff. Right now, all the utilities are done. They got all the concrete work done, which will probably be on the next pay request, but they're looking to, I believe they're looking to pave next week sometime is, I think, the hope, so to get that kind of buttoned up. But for this pay request is just the remainder of the utility work that was done last month.
There was some issues with the storm sewer up there. Did that get resolved? I can't remember, right below that storage building, wasn't there a storm sewer issue there?
We're putting a retention pond across the street.
Was that? But it's all,
Kurt Teschner is working on ditching along that area for drainage now.
yes, okay, all right, so that's not done yet.
Correct.
All right, so we got a recommendation to council. Please make, somebody want to make the motion to recommend it to council?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Henkel.
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Discuss with possible recommendation, funding source for workman's comp coverage. Invoice in the amount of $21,984. Somebody want to talk about this?
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So last year, we underfunded workers' compensation, and there was an audit that was done, and I'm not sure at that time, the city administrator, somehow the information that was submitted, I'm not sure if it was, somehow it was underinflated. So after workers' comp did an audit, he said that we owe them $122,000 for the shortfall.
And this audit is pretty common annually, just for your awareness. They, obviously we can only project what we can for wages. Sometimes it comes in differently and, sometimes you owe, sometimes you don't. But this one, as the mayor stated, the best we can surmise is the numbers were more underinflated than we've seen in the past. So we have a more significant invoice than previous.
We've had this where we had to make it up before, but not this much, I don't believe. Anyway, it's not uncommon for this to happen, but this amount was pretty high. Is there anything else you want
Probably would have to come out of the general fund.
Mhm.
to, I don't know of any other funding source for it.
No, I don't either.
No, I think that's the most straightforward, unfortunately.
Okay. So is that what we want to use for a funding source, Mayor?
I think that at this point, we don't have any alternative. That's pretty much everybody else's budget is pretty much used up for the year to date. So I would make a recommendation that we pay the $21,984.
Take it out of the general fund.
Yeah, coming out of the general fund.
Okay. Is there a motion to
I'll
make
make
that
that
recommendation
motion.
to the council?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. This one we can just do with a roll call. I mean,
Aye.
a voice vote. Aye.
Aye.
All right, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Discuss with possible recommendation, change order number 1 in the amount of $12,062 for the
Muzzy Allen Road.
Muzzy Allen
Yeah.
Road project.
trying to figure out why was there a change order for that?
So when they they were digging, they found that the water main was 10-inch instead of 8-inch.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so so this change orders to address the fittings for 10-inch instead of the 8-inch. And then it was also found that the water service to the church was a 2-inch instead of the 1.25 inch that we're running for the private services.
We did think there was some extra funding. The amount of money we borrowed, we believe would cover this $12,000.
Okay,
Right.
so,
I would have to check with Don on that.
Yeah, I thought that Don.
I believe so, because
Right.
the bid came in under what we were anticipating and budgeted
Right.
for.
so for clarification, the service line is 2 inches now, or is 1.5?
It's 2 inches to the church, yeah. It was found to be 2-inch, so then they maintained that size for the public side that it was replaced.
But most of the funding here is from the 8-inch that we anticipated, and it was 10-inch, right?
Correct.
So that, the fittings was costing most of us the money.
All right, so I will make the motion to recommend that to the council.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 5, discuss with possible recommendation pay request number 2 in the amount of $464,375.86 payable to Copeland Canas Incorporated for Muzzy Allen Road construction.
So this pay request handles mainly the utilities for Muzzy Allen. I think there's a little bit in there for Grove Street Storm. But yeah, it should be all the utility work, or most of the utility work, which all the utilities have been completed as of today, so.
So there's no
Yeah.
change orders in this, this is just pretty much as it was.
Yep,
bid-
correct.
bid. Okay, but I want to make a motion.
I'll make the motion to recommend the payment.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been made and seconded, please take the roll.
Alderperson Henkel.
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, item number 5, motion to adjourn,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are, throw that in, Kim.
Kim, do you want the?
No, I'll use my knuckles, I gotta bring it up again. Okay. I would like to call the Personnel Committee at 6:41. Do we have any citizens' comments?
Do you want me do roll call?
Sure, that might help.
Alderperson Olson.
Here.
Alderperson Buskey.
Here.
Alderperson Winter. Here. We have a quorum.
Any citizens' comments? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from May 26th?
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discuss with possible action, 4.1. Discuss with possible action, recommendation, updates to the City of Mayville employee handbook.
We have just a couple pages left at this point, and then I can put all the recommendations that have been together through the month, and we can formally bring it to council. So where we left off was section 8.2, where it starts talking about disciplinary action. This section has a little extra verbiage that the legal had requested be added in that just clarifies, while the city may choose to follow a progressive discipline protocol, the city is not required to issue discipline in any particular sequence. The nature of such offense will determine the level which discipline is appropriate. Other than that, that section remains the same. So I would be looking for consensus to adopt the attorney edits.
What page is that?
49.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion.
At this point, it's just consensus because we will take all, so long as the three of you are in agreement with that edit, I will note it and work it into the draft in its entirety.
All right, I'm good with that,
I'm good with that. Okay.
and Jason as well. Okay,
Next is grievance procedure. It starts on page 50 and goes through page 57. Everything you see in blue has been added by legal counsel. It still follows the prior format, it appears, of our last grievance procedure in this redlined version. I don't know if you saw anything
Let me see.
particularly different with it.
So the blue is by the attorney,
The blue is by the attorney.
and the red is by the change that we want to make.
The verbiage that the attorney would strike, and I believe the green verbiage was the verbiage that prior administration would like to see added.
I have a question.
Mhm.
The internal investigation.
Mhm.
Who is considered the internal?
That would be the mayor.
The mayor or who he directs. You know, I think a lot of it depends on the nature of the grievance. You know, we've had internals handled by the police department before. We've had some internals that have had to be outsourced to other police departments because of conflict of interest.
Right.
That's where I'm
You know,
going
so
with
that
this.
there's some flexibility depending on the nature of the issue.
Depending on the severity of the case.
I don't know. I think we should handle this very careful with internal investigations. Somebody said something.
Well, at the end of the day, the mayor can do an internal investigation without the council's consent. This is just about the grievance process.
Mhm. Yeah, and some of the green verbiage, some of it's just like termination, it gives the definition of what it is, so it's a little more clearly in there. There is some verbiage that the attorney has already struck when it comes to impartial hearings, appeal for review, decision of governmental body. So it follows pretty closely to what we have already had in place.
Minus the police review.
Mhm.
And you need a consensus on this as well.
Yes. So we would be looking to accept legal's edits.
Okay. All right, I'm good with that as well.
I am too. Okay,
All right.
wonderful. All right, kick through this yet. Page 58 talks about personnel records. There's nothing to change there. It's all staying the same. Legal isn't looking to add anything other than a little verbiage that says employees have the right to inspect their personnel files at a minimum of twice a year if they choose to do so. It just notifies them of that.
That's state law.
Yep. And then for the pay plan, the one thing I would point out is, so we had a 5-scale pay plan in place previously. It is outdated. You'll notice a lot of this is on page 59, a lot of the positions we no longer have. So I had done some review. Waupun and Kewaskum in particular had recently upgraded their grading of employees. And I took the positions we currently have, the full-time positions, and kind of worked them into grades based on what those other municipalities were doing. Certainly this is something if you guys would like to think on a little further, since you're just first seeing it, I finished it today. We could certainly bring this section back for review, but what would be nice moving forward then as well is as if new positions are created at that time, we work them in the scale, so or in the, not the scale, the grading, so we know where they fall. But often having these ratings and scale plans, what tends to come part and parcel with it are the STEP program for the wages. So that is something we'd have to look at and consider. You see it a lot at like the county level. Your position's given a certain grade, so people come in and they know, okay, my first year, I'm at 87% of what it should be, and that in itself would be a whole other discussion and undertaking, but
We did this with the DPW guys, like a couple of years ago, we basically gave them a union scale. We said, hey, we're gonna start the starting guy out at this amount, depending on, qualifications, and then every 6 months, you're gonna get a bump until you reach out to the top level.
Mhm.
And the top level would be, your top, but you just get your yearly increase of COLA or whatever it is.
Yep.
And that actually was good, because now guys in that department, because they're so much newer, they know every 6 months what they can be expected to receive for compensation.
so certainly if you'd like, we can bring this part back next month.
I would say, yes.
All right.
Is that it? What about the 30-day, department heads, I get 30-day notice, we talked about that?
We did, so in a previous section, when it comes to, sorry, I'm just making my little note to bring back in July, so I don't miss this. I would probably put it under our payouts. A lot of municipalities, when someone gives resignation, they require they give a certain amount of notice to leave in good standing and receive their payout. So for most standard hourly employees, that is going to be 2 weeks. For most department heads, that is 30 days. And then what that does is that gives the municipality some time to get a transition plan in place. And what usually happens with that as well is they are outside of an emergency. They're not supposed to be burning all their vacation in that time. They're not supposed to be burning all their sick time. But it just sets us up in a way that hopefully we can have a little more a smoother transition when these things happen. And certainly you may still have employees who choose to not give that notice, but in that case, they forego their payout. So it's something to consider. Some municipalities do have that verbiage, and I would be happy to bring some examples to next meeting.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The 30 days definitely in those positions. Anything else?
Is that a consensus?
I agree.
I agree. Okay.
Yes, us three agree.
Okay. That actually gets us through the handbook. So I will start making the grandiose draft. And then next month, those 2 last remaining pieces, I'll bring you samples of the verbiage from some other communities, and you can recommend what you like, and hopefully then by August or September, we will have an updated handbook.
Okay, wonderful. 4.2, discuss with possible action, payout for N. DeBaker. Is there anything in our packet for that?
So we are still waiting on some information from our flex spending individuals. So if you're familiar with flex spending, the way that works is you can allot for a certain amount to use throughout the year, but it becomes available to you on the first of the year. And what they do is they take that bulk amount. So say you want to spend $1,000, they break it up into the 26 pay periods, and they take that little bit from you month by month. But as of January 1st, you have the ability to use that full amount. So when someone leaves partway through the year, sometimes you have instances where they spent more than they have actually put in through payroll. And what happens is the city is left basically paying that employee's overage. So myself and Michelle have been working with EBC to get some hard totals, because what also makes it a little more difficult is they allow carryover for the first 3 months. So we want to be quite certain with EBC that we have the correct amount, so that we aren't either deducting too much out of a payout or not enough and have an awkward situation. So I would ask that you give us another 2 weeks, hopefully, to get this from them, and I could do a special personnel before common council, so we don't delay this payout more than we have to, but I do want to make sure the payout is accurate. And I am more than happy to reach out to that prior employee and let them know that this occurred. But we've been working with them for the last few weeks to try to get that information. Sometimes it takes them a little while to get the claims and make sure they have everything in their system. So we're working diligent with them to try to get that information so we have accurate numbers.
You might want to work on the payout amount with Cameron too, to make sure
Mm-hmm.
we want to get a second eyes on it.
Absolutely. And I'll see Cameron tomorrow.
Okay, I'll make that motion to allow an additional 2 weeks
Okay.
to get the information from BBC.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you're so quiet. You're so quiet. Can I get a motion to adjourn at 6:55?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Moving on.
The boss man.
All right, call the Mayville Special Common Council meeting order at 6:55. Please take roll.
Alderperson Baker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Henkel. Here. Alderperson Winter. Here. Alderperson Buskey.
Here.
Alderperson Olson.
Here,
We have a quorum.
Any citizen comments? You're not charging us for this, are you?
It's for Don to work out, yeah.
Just wondering. All right. New business, approval of the minutes of June 8th, 2026 Common Council meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Smith, second by Hinkle. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Possible action, operator's license, Jessica Willie, 505 Dayton Street, Mayville, Larry Willie, 505 Dayton Street, Mayville. Is there a motion?
So
Motion
Second.
Buskey, second by Hinkle. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carries. Discuss with possible action, funding source for workers' compensation coverage invoice in the amount of $21,984. Workers' compensation audit on January 1st, 2025 to January 1st, 2026. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, take it out of the general fund.
Motion by Smith,
I'll second.
second by the Baker. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss with possible action, pay request number 2 to Cotertional Brothers LLC in the amount of $354,908.94 for River Knoll Drive Street Utility Project, bid number 7. Is there a motion? Motion by Buskey,
I'll second.
second by
Whoever.
Mary.
Hinkle. Any discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Discuss with possible action, pay request number 3 to Contestor Brothers LLC in the amount of $89,208.05 for River Knoll Project Utility Extension to number 7. Is there a motion on this one?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by the Baker,
Second.
second by Smith. Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss Discuss with possible action pay request number 12 in the amount of $893,897.34 payable to CD Smith Construction Incorporated, water wastewater facility upgrades. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Buskey,
I'll second it.
second by DeBaker. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss with possible action pay request number 2 in the amount of $464,375.86 payable to Copeland and Keenest Company Incorporated, Muzzy Allen Grove Road Reconstructions. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Smith,
I'll second.
second by Hinkle. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss with possible action, change order number 1 in the amount of $12,062 for Muzzy Allen and Grove Street reconstruction project. Motion by Buskey,
I'll second it.
second by DeBaker. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, by order of chair, we're adjourned at 6:59.